so excited to be joined by artist Scott Hocking, whose exhibition opens here at the gallery on November 19th. Scott, thank you for being here on One Detroit Arts and Culture.
It's my pleasure. Nice to meet you.
And what is your upcoming exhibition about?
Well, my exhibition here at David Klein that opens this November is kind of in tandem with a retrospective exhibition of my work over the last 25 years that opens at Cranbrook Art Museum a couple of weeks earlier on November 4th. So here at the gallery, we're going to focus on some work that's not in the museum show, but also connects to that history and timeline of my work over the years. Some smaller cast bronze sculptures are based on a piece that was just installed in front of Huntington Place back in August, where it's an 11-foot bronze sphere that was installed.
Wow, okay. And how does Detroit come into play in all of your works?
Well, I'm 47 years old and I've been here my whole life. It really started early for me because I grew up near the railroad tracks, and I would go to the railroad tracks and walk and explore. And those early experiences with finding things, finding industrial detritus, industrial cast-offs and found objects and junk at junkyards, it ended up becoming really inspirational to me. And really at that time, in the mid-90s in Detroit, there was an abundance of wasted material. There was a lot of spaces where people just left everything behind. Whole factories shut down, shuttered, like people stopped going to work one day and abandoned. So for me, that was a huge inspiration, but also irritation. I would be kind of inspired by the buildings, but irritated that somebody had enough money to have a building like that and then let it go to waste. Those kinds of things fueled my work early on, and they still do now.
What do you want people to know when they're looking at the exhibition?
I like that people bring their own ideas and their own baggage to exhibitions. I don't necessarily care if they get what I'm saying, but in general, I like making work that I might have 10 different reasons behind it, but it's still up for interpretation. It's abstract enough. Maybe it connects with people in ways. I love it when people view my artwork and somehow they have the same thought I do, or there's a connection we make, like, oh, I get it that way. But I also love it when they have no connection and they have no idea what I was thinking and they have their own idea about it, good or bad. So for me, that's always been one of the most amazing, kind of exciting things about artwork is if it gets a reaction, if it makes people stop for a moment and look, maybe a break from like the mundane reality. They're walking down the street and they look through the window and they see something and it makes them for a moment just stop. That's enough for me. And if they want to, they can go deeper. They can come in the gallery. They can look, they can read, they can ask questions. To me, that's kind of the beauty of art.
Is there anything else you want to share with our audience?
I would say come to my exhibitions. I'm really excited about the Cranbrook exhibition opening, and I'm really thrilled that I'll have work here. I mean, I'm kind of amazed that I'm going to have two openings 2 weeks apart. I'll be exhausted, but I'll be here. Might be cold, put on a hat, and come to the exhibitions.
Well, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, and thank you very much.
Nice to meet you too.